5 o'clock. I would like to call our meeting to order. Just before we start the meeting, Staff Sergeant King, it's our pleasure to honor you. You're leaving us, unfortunately, and going to Grand Prairie. But we have really had the joy of having you in Edson. And I liked you even before you came because you phoned us as counselors and sort of asked what we were looking for. And I thought, what a great thing to do as a person that's coming new to a town. And certainly since you came here, you and Jennifer and your family have fitted in so well, and you've definitely helped many, many young people and adults as well. So I can't thank you enough for having been in charge of our town.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll pass it on to the real man now.
Just to echo what Councillor Wilkinson, our Deputy Mayor, said, Peter, you've made a mark on our community over the last 4 years that you've been here. I think that you came at a time when there was a lot of difficulties in our community, and you were able to navigate that very well. You're going to be sadly missed. I know a lot of teenage girls are going to be missing their boys around and we thoroughly have enjoyed working with you over the last 4 years, and hope that you come and visit, and wish you and your family all the best of luck in Grand Prairie. So on behalf of council, I'd like to present you with just a little token gift.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Gotta take the lens cap out.
On it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your service. All right, we'll move on with our meeting now. With the adoption of the agenda, we have an addition. So I would like a motion that the agenda for the August 20th, 2019 Committee of the Whole meeting be adopted with the addition of a multiplex steering committee update to be held in a closed session in accordance with Section 24A, C, and G of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. Councillor Bevan, you're making that motion. All in favor? Passed. All right, adoption of previous minutes. Would someone like to make a motion? Councillor Byer, to adopt the minutes of the last meeting. Any discussion on that? All right, hearing none. Are you able to vote for the adoption of the previous minutes? Positive, or did you already? Okay, passed. Okay, thank you. Okay, delegations. Tonight we have a delegation from the Edson RV Park and Campground Social Housing Initiative. Mr. Monty Minhouse, I'd like to welcome you to the table. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My name is Monty Minhouse, and I'm here today to make a small presentation on a proposal that we are working on. And it's basically a small community of mini homes that we plan to put on a portion of our park, which is being kind of not fully utilized. It could be utilized better than what it is. And so the proposal is actually meant, it started from being like a 12 mini homes in that area, but I have kept it open to 20 in case the feasibility study that we will have to do according to CMHC requirements require us to go up from 12. So keeping that in mind, we at this point in time have opened it from 12, anywhere from 12 to 20. It's going to be a mixture of for-profit and not-for-profit components within that mini home kind of a community, in the sense that because we will be providing below rent housing accommodations. In order to cover the costs of providing that, we'll have to have a certain component, which from where we get the profits to cover the not-for-profit component of it. So we're proposing a 40 to 60 ratio, wherein the 60% would be not-for-profit and 40% would be for-profit. And I was given the information in my talks that this is what they prefer nowadays, to have self-sustaining communities which are not dependent on any government grants over the longer term of the period. Once it's up and running, it self-sustains itself. The location for this is currently at Edson RV Park. We are divided by a ravine, and this would be on the other side of the ravine, which abuts on the south side of the ravine, which abuts the rec center building, which was demolished recently. The mini homes would be either single or 2-bedroom units, about anywhere from 34 to 40 feet and around 400 square feet. At least 10% would be wheelchair accessible, and they'll be energy efficient. We'll try to be as green as possible. With latest energy efficient appliances and all of that. They'll have solar panels on them as well. And that's a representation of what it would be. The cost that our initial research has, as per our initial research, is $60,000 per unit, and the target rent for the not-for-profit section will be about $700 per month, including the utilities. Funding for this will be approaching CMHC for, they have 2 streams under which we could get this application done. One of them is innovation fund, because it's a unique kind of an idea. So it would qualify under innovation fund, or it could be a co-investment fund where they would provide us with soft loans or a loan along with a grant. We'll be floating a not-for-profit company under which all of this will work. And for this project, according to our research, we have to have support of at least 2 components in the sense that local housing authority has to come on board. I have approached the Evergreens Foundation, and they told me that they already have a waiting list of the target client. The target client in this case is single parents and retirees who can't otherwise afford such accommodations. I have approached them, and they are pretty enthusiastic about this project, and they have promised me support. I've also approached McMahon Youth, Family and Community Services Association, and we actually have somebody from that organization staying with us currently in the park. We look after that particular person according to what their requirements are. And what we need now is the town of Edson's support in this application. It could be in forgiveness of property taxes, or approval of our changing like land classification requirements if need be, or whatever else. As we go along on deeper studies into this, whatever else we find. So that's pretty much my presentation here.
Right, thank you very much for that. Councillors, do you have questions? Yes.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm excited by this. I think that tiny homes have huge opportunity in our province, especially in our community. And we won't make any decisions tonight, but I think the town of Edson should work with you to see how we can make this happen.
Thank you.
I think there's certainly a demand and a need there, and can provide for some other opportunities in our community as well. So thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor Sorensen?
My question is through the chair to administration. Do we know of any land zoning issues right now with this proposal?
Yeah, thank you. No, I would suspect that it would require some zoning changes. I'd have to look at it, but campgrounds are often zoned as a recreational kind of use, and they're quite limited. But certainly, as administration reviews this proposal and brings back further information, we will identify that.
Councillor Byer?
Through the chair to Mr. Minhouse. So you just mentioned that the asks that you were asking of the town are support, possible land zoning changes, and then you also mentioned waiving any taxes. Can you just mention that or go into more detail?
It's just a thought right now. We haven't done a very detailed feasibility study, but because the whole idea of the project is to make it feasible and make it make it so that we can provide below market rent housing. So I would like to bring the costs down as much as we can, and if in that process, if property taxes for that portion of the land could be forgiven, or we'll know more later as we do more feasibility studies. I would propose that if you could do that for us.
Okay.
Councillor Curry, I believe you had a question.
Thank you. Through the chair, first of all, I just want to say thank you. I think it's a really creative, and we've talked about a lot of the issues that we have in town and needing to be more creative, and I think it's really nice to see people taking that initiative. Is it necessary for support as far as a letter that, do you need that from us for you to be able to move forward with the process?
At this point, yes.
Okay.
A letter of intent or letter of support, something along those lines.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Byer?
Through the chair to Mr. Minhouse, another question. So often in the mini homes that I've read about, around Canada, they often have like common areas available for, if they want to have a Christmas supper or family over when it doesn't really suit the size of their home. What is available for them that way, or laundry services or something?
We do have laundry services currently available to our customers,
Okay.
and that would be open to the residents of this this community. However, we at this point in time we're not proposing to put up a common community hall or anything like that, and the reason being it is a pretty small project.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we stay at 12 units, then it would be cost prohibitive for us to put up a hall, and then the whole the whole cost structure would be
Okay.
changing them.
Thank you.
Councillor Bevan?
Good chair. I do like the idea. I also think that, with your building out there, that a lot of times the other side is not rented out all the time.
Right.
I think if you build out there, maybe it'll deter some of the vandalism and theft that goes on to
Right.
the golf club that has us out there, and other stuff that goes out there too, and that I think somebody being there full time will hopefully help some of that out.
Right,
And that's
exactly.
It's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Okay, I just have a question. You said you had Evergreen Foundation support. I'm on the board. It hasn't come to the board yet. I was just wondering what they'd offered or who had offered it to you.
I was talking to
Kristen or
Kristen,
right?
Thanks
All
for
right.
reminding me.
Okay.
Yes, she hasn't written a formal offer to me, but she did say that this idea is very good, and she doesn't.
It
see
is a good
any-
idea.
Yes, and she said, we'll be more than happy to help you in whatever manner you want us to. But as far as concrete help is concerned, or concrete ideas are concerned, we haven't passed or discussed, or I don't have a written letter yet.
Mhm.
But in my phone discussions with her, she sounded pretty enthusiastic about this.
Okay. Yeah, we're having a board meeting within the next couple of weeks, so I'm sure
Right,
it'll come up
right.
then.
And-
Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, thank you very much for your presentation, and it's nice to have some innovative ideas on the horizon, so thank you.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
And as they always say, you're welcome to stay if you like, but also we'd understand it if you want to leave. Either way, it's fine. All right, some stuff. We'll go to F2, Infrastructure and Planning, the revised road closure bylaw. I think from the explanation in there, you can see that there was an error made between southwest and southeast. Did you want to do an explanation for us?
Madam Chair Lady,
Yeah.
that's the long and short of it. There was a typo made. The bylaw was sent to land titles for registration, noting that there was a typographical error, and land titles has requested that a formal revised bylaw be passed, and then they will register the road closure.
All right. So will we have to bring this to a council meeting to have it passed in a motion?
Yes.
All right, so that'll be at our next one, I'm assuming. Okay. Are there any questions regarding this to staff? Yes?
Yes, through administration. So are we gonna have to go through the entire procedure all over again, or are we able to pass through readings in the meeting next week?
Thank you. Carrie?
That's a great question.
I can speak.
Oh,
Thanks, Kara.
Because it's merely a typographical error and the map is correct and shows the correct portion, we will not have to go through the whole process again. We can just do 3 readings.
Okay, good. That's good. Okay, any other questions? All right, then thank you for the information. That clarified it for us. All right, we'll go on to F3, corporate services there. Public notification bylaw 2233. Anybody choosing to speak on this?
yeah, thank you. Yeah, we don't have much to add. I think it's fairly clear there. Again, this was an item that was discussed at council's strategic planning session. This will just allow us more tools in terms of public notification. In particular, this will allow us to begin some processes in a much more timely manner, which will hopefully allow us to be more responsive to development pressures and development issues when timelines are short.
Okay, thank you for that, and I applaud you if it's going to just speed up that service for development permits, etc. So, any questions? Yes?
Through the chair to administration, perhaps I asked this already before at strategic retreat, but remind me, if we have a spot on our website for these development permits, or will we get a banner notification on that, or do people have to just manually check the website in case something comes up?
Yes, thank you. I think that we will have the ability to do either or both of those things. I'm not sure we've determined specifically yet what that process will look like. It may depend specifically on the application or the process, as in some may warrant a more widespread notification where others may not. And so it may be dependent on the issue specifically.
Thank you.
Okay, any other? Yes, Councillor Curry?
And just to admin, so I'm assuming too that whatever that process is, it will also include the app? Setting that to the app in the same way?
Yes, thank you. I took that kind of to mean will this trigger notifications that would be published through our app. I think we certainly have that ability and would use it where it was appropriate.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, seeing no more questions, we'll take that for information. Thank you. We'll go to F4, Community and Protective Services. We have a parent link report from our staff members. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I think you all know who I am, and Kelly as well, our coordinator. So we did send out the local fact sheet already. I don't know if you guys have any questions about just kind of the local fact sheet. We do have a little presentation that we'll go through as well.
Thank you.
Before we get started on that, is there any questions about the fact sheet at all? Or should we just get going? Okay. So just providing a few facts, especially about the funding. Through FCSSAA in the province, I think with any new government that comes in, there's always some fear about what the priorities are going to be. We haven't heard anything that FCSS would lose or reduce funding, but it's always a concern, I guess, in the back of everyone's mind. So I just, we've been encouraged to just let you guys know, I guess, exactly where our funding is coming from, and I guess also how that would impact our community if we were to lose it. And so right now from the province, we get $226,000, and we've been getting that annually for many years. It hasn't really changed for the last few years. Yellowhead County also contributes substantially to the FCSS operations with $107,000. And the town of Edson, we must put in 20% of what the province gives us. And so we're sitting at about $62,000. That specific number, I think it shows a little bit low because there's also, with general manager or with, Athena's work that she does for our department, I'm not sure that any of their wages are kind of feeding into this. This was just the way that it's presented, I guess, in our financials, but I would say that that's a bit of a low number. I would think we'd probably be more up around the 80 or 90. We've also, ParentLink is also a large contributor. We're at $112,000 we get a year. The 112 is actually, we kind of keep going up a few thousand every year, and we actually expect in 2020 that ParentLink is going to go up even further. We are making progress with our network and just really taking a good look at how it's been distributed and why it is the way that it is. And just with our demographics and population and whatnot, it looks like Edson is probably going to get some more of that network funding. So stay tuned in September, we'll know a little bit more on that. The $7,000, that's just, we have some event revenue, corporate donations, that sort of thing. We can never really count on that number, but we usually, do bring a little bit of revenue in there. I guess before we go on to that, does anyone have any questions about the funding? No? Okay. So I guess just a little bit of brief information. The FCSS partnerships, such a big part of what we do, and it's somewhat quiet. We work in the backgrounds. We work with a lot of different agencies and, come together on different events or programs. And, Ali chairs our interagency group, which has how many people involved?
I think 70 are on the mailing list, and then we might get about 30 at each meeting, give or take.
Mm-hmm. And so it's somewhat an informal group where the agenda and the way that group wants to remain is that they come, they network, they talk about ways they can work together, more just learning about what everybody does so that they can direct their own clients to the right resources. And so, even though this picture is fairly outstanding, there's certainly a lot of other partners in our community that we work hand in hand with. And, we couldn't do the work we do without our community. So ParentLink usage, for a full year picture, we're just giving you the 2018 totals. And a great deal of what we do is our drop-in, which happens Monday to Friday. We have several different programs running there. And 13% are registered, 11, and that would be, like our triple P parenting courses, that sort of thing. And then in partner, that's with the Early Childhood Coalition that we're a part of. So, they do have special events throughout the year that we take part in, the Green Check initiatives, that sort of thing. So, in the early childhood world, Dana and McKeely work really hard too with our partners. And again, we can do so much more when we work together. This is just, we think, a really nice visual to show the usage between town and county residents, and just to show the great deal of county that actually does come in and utilize the family center. And so we find that our daytime during the week, we kind of range in the 30-40% of usership comes from the county. And evenings and weekend, it's more primarily Edsonites. But, it is nice to see that we do have a really good amount coming from the county as well. And of course, everything that we do is open to the county residents. So program participation, so taking the full year of 2018 and then up until now in 2019, we've had just about 15,000 individuals taking part in the programming, whether it be Ellie's FCSS programs or the ParentLink. And, we've already had almost 4,000 people attending at the ParentLink Center alone. So that was just from January to June, so in 6 months, it's fairly substantial. We find the numbers just keep rising, and the programs are doing a really great job over there, Dana and McKeely. Let's Play is always, you know, just playing, drop in, there's nothing fancy going on, no big activities, just to be able to come in, visit, you know, get to know others and hang out with their kids. So that's always a really popular one. Also partnering with AHS, doing the developmental screenings every year is something that we do regularly in partnership. And then I guess just skipping down more to FCSS related, the Seniors Week, which is, Ali was a big part of organizing it. Yeah, go for it.
I'll just take over. So Seniors Week this week was very successful. It is every year. Sorry, did I say this week? This year. It's Seniors Week every week. So this year we had way over 500 seniors attend throughout the week to various events, with 345 participants at the Seniors Pancake Breakfast. We had lots and lots of participation in our survey that we did that day. I think I had 114 responses, which is really great considering they're just sitting eating their meal and filling out a little piece of paper and actually submitting it. So that was very good. And this year was also the first year I tried to host a volunteer fair, and it actually went really well. So initially I had about 16 groups signed up, but 13 showed up for the volunteer fair, and then about 86 participants throughout the evening, which I think is a great number for the first time. And yeah. So the CVITP program is the Community Volunteering Impact Program. It happens every year. It's been happening for over the last 30 years in Edson. We have about 7 volunteers currently that are helping out, and I today alone received 2 more people that would like to join. So the program is getting the attention that it deserves. We have done so far over 600 taxes this year. 568 which were done in the clinic alone. So that's 7 people spread out over 4 days a week for 34 days. So it's a lot of work and a lot of volunteer hours go into the program. So yeah, if you value their hours at $20 an hour, it's about $10,000 of work over those 2 months. So. And then I just put in a little snippet. I have a few presentations coming from the Canada Revenue Agency about taxes. So we'll be doing one for youth, seniors, and then everybody about benefits and credits you can get from the government when doing your taxes. And then I just kind of wanted to touch on some community initiatives that I've been working on recently. So the Block Party program is still going. It slowly gains like 1 or 2 block parties a year. So this year I still have 2 more happening, one this Saturday and then one early September. The block party trailer that is pictured here was donated by Edson Healthier Together, which I am a part of as well. We have put games, tents, tables, chairs. There's lots like giant snakes and ladders and just lots of fun things in there for people to use during their block parties. So I'm hoping that the trailer is kind of an incentive almost to host a block party, kind of make it easier and bring fun to someone's block. And then also it's going to help them to have like active play and a more active block party rather than just sit and have a hot dog. They'll be able to play the games together and do that. And then also the volunteer database is something that I've been working on. So on edson.ca/volunteer, I've created a space where groups can say that they want to be a part of the volunteer database. They can sign up, quote unquote, and send me their information. I will post them there so people can go see what kind of volunteer opportunities those groups have. But also we'll be doing quarterly newsletters, so those groups will have the opportunity to submit information, and then I will be sending it out to a list of people that have come forward to say that they'd like to volunteer, so I have an email list for those, and then also it'll just be released to the public as well as a newsletter and on the website and on our Facebook. So I'm hoping that that kind of answers a lot of people's questions when they say I want to volunteer, but I don't know where, because we get several of those phone calls. So I kind of wanted to create a hub, I guess, and it's constantly progressing because I have to add new stuff every time I think of some easier way to do something. So the web page is always changing, but for now that's what it kind of looks like. So yeah.
Okay, just wanted to highlight a few things with the Community Engagement Action Team. Obviously, the town FCSS is still, a huge part of this. Our skate park luau was another big success, and it was nice to have the skate park crew. Where were they from?
House of Wheels.
House of Wheels, yes. They came out and the kids really enjoyed watching some kind of semi-pros come out and ride with them, and the kids loved it. We had a lot of corporate partners for that event too, which was wonderful. Just a gentleman, Daryl Parkers, came to us and said, hey, I'd like to help, and he basically went around and found a lot of, got the porta potties and just light tower. He got everything set up, donated, and it was almost a free event for us to run. And Secure Energy doing the barbecue, and it was another great night. The t-shirt campaign that you can see up at the top there, that was again sponsored by Velvet Energy. This year, Velvet has decided that they still want to be part of mental health and an initiative that we're doing. So they've actually given us $2,000 towards the I Got Mine tour that we're bringing out in October. And so it's, Bob Wilkie is an ex-NHL player, and he goes around with his psychologist, and they come and talk to athletes and anyone in general about mental health, but it's more about just managing that. And we'll be going to Parkland, HRH, and then we'll be having an evening event as well. And so we also have Edson Minor Hockey is really on board too, with encouraging their coaches and mentors and that to come and attend. So yeah, it's about just, creating a positive experience for athletes, and athletes also, understanding what a healthy, sport involvement looks like. So yeah, we're really excited for that to come out. The tickets we're keeping it really reasonable. In the city, it's, you can pay anywhere from like $30 to $50 a ticket. And the town is, like FCSS is partnering, SEAT is also putting money towards it, and Velvet. And so we're keeping it down to like $5 a ticket for kids, or up to 18, and then $10 for adults. So it'll be a relatively cheap event for people to attend, and we're hoping it'll be great. So these are just some of the statements of impact, and we had already put those in the fact sheet, so I don't know that we need to run through them all, but our whole group in community development is making an effort to collect these statements, because as with everything in what we do with FCSS, the numbers don't always tell the tale. And people get a lot out of what we do. And it's nice to see these comments coming in, especially with individuals saying, my child with disabilities can go here, and it's inclusive and it's wonderful, and we really strive to have inclusive programming and diverse. And when we get feedback like this, it's like, okay, we're doing the right things. So, and also getting some feedback that says, okay, we need to do better here. So we're basically everything we do, we're trying to take an outcomes approach to it, and if it's not working, then we change it. So I think that concludes our presentation. Do you have anything you want to add, Allie? No? Okay. No?
Oh, it was an excellent presentation. Questions? Yes? Master Curry?
I don't have a question as much as I just want to say thank you. It was really nice to have it laid out like that, and to see the stats and such. So I really appreciate that as keeping us informed. So thank you.
Mayor Zahara?
Thank you for the presentation. I'm really glad to see they're taking on the volunteer database. I think that's going to be an important part of what we do moving forward, especially with all the nonprofits that are struggling in our community. I guess two questions. One, the work that we do with the Youth Council, I'm wondering if that counts towards what we're doing in FCSS, if you're able to utilize that as a part of the FCSS program. And secondly, council is actually the FCSS board, and I know we talked about kind of doing some training and some, I guess, formalizing that a little bit more than it has been in the past. Has any work been done regarding that?
Through the chair to the mayor, what, as far as formalizing, what is some of the groups have been starting to do is create terms of reference about what that relationship looks like, because most seem to be informal as we are, right? We come, we do presentations, we seek your support or feedback, I guess, if we're making changes or creating new programs. But in general, what I'm finding, especially in our region, is that nobody has that laid out. And so a lot have kind of started doing the research, and we're starting to work together on that, because I know Hinton is kind of embarking on the same thing. So nothing official that I can give to you at this point, but certainly working towards it. And also with your youth council question, that is actually being run through through the community development group, which, I mean, I know that we're all under the same umbrella, but it's specific to community development, not so much FCSS. Not that it wouldn't fit our mandate, but that's where it was placed.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect, thank you.
Councillor Bayo?
Just a comment through the chair to Tanya. So I attend the Parent Link, and one of the really interesting comments that I get from some of them that have moved from elsewhere is they say that they can't believe how much programming and opportunities there are for things to do in Edson compared to the communities that are very large cities, and like I think Lethbridge, Calgary. They say that there's more opportunities in Edson to find things to do through their community services than they felt they had in those previous locations. So I think that's really kudos to your department. So thank you for that. And also, along with the mayor, I think that volunteer database is, I'm hoping that'll be really helpful for all the other nonprofit groups. So thank you.
24 so far.
Yeah.
Councillor Curry?
Is there a way that volunteer database can get pushed through the app? Because I just can imagine a lot of,
Is there a way?
just because we have so many people, and a lot of the people that are asking
Yeah.
have been good about adding the app, but not as good at going to the website. So
Right.
maybe if there was just,
Yeah, we'll have to ask Steve.
Yes, I'm sure
Be
it can be done.
discussed. Be discussed, I'm sure.
Discuss that?
Steve is shaking his head.
Any other questions? Okay, I just wondered, have you presented to the county with your presentation at all?
No, we haven't.
I just think it would be interesting. They do give us a large amount of funding, obviously, by your little graph, which I like. But also, I think that funding is used on county people. So I think it would be nice if they just realize the correlation that it does work, the amount of money to how many people are being served. Be interesting. I know they have their own FCSS, sort of, but I don't know. We work in collaboration. I think it would be nice for them to see it. And as far as your volunteer fair goes, I think it was a huge success because the Lions got 2 members from that. So, when you only have 5 and you get 2, pretty good. And the block party idea, as you know, last night it was discussed at the presentation that Sergeant King gave. And I just do believe, Council Byer, when you said that if we all get to know each other, that's our first step in trying to make a safe community. So thank you for doing all of your initiatives. It's just, you do a wonderful job, so thank you for your presentation.
Okay. And also, I guess I would just like to thank everyone for your support of what we do, because again, you're kind of the wind beneath our wings, so to speak. If you weren't supporting it, you know, we wouldn't have the opportunities that we do to serve our community. And it's great to hear that type of feedback, that, you know, people are saying that Edson has all these great things to do. And yeah, it's our staff. It absolutely is. We're pretty lucky.
And you work hard.
They do, yeah. And I guess just in closing, I would like to encourage, you know, if anybody has the ear of Emily or whomever, to, you know, just make sure that you're putting in plugs for FCSS and saying
For
how
sure,
valuable it is.
for sure.
Because, you know, it's one thing when the cities are getting millions of FCSS dollars compared to our like 200-300. Like, if we lose that, we've got nothing left, right? And so, you know, for rural Alberta, to make sure that our voice is heard, if you guys have those opportunities, please use them.
I think that's extremely important, because it had been 10 years with no increase in funding, and then they finally did get some, but I can see where it could regress again. So really important for us to do that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Do we have any questions from the media or public regarding items from the committee of the whole meeting?
Any questions?
None?
No.
Okay, no one else? All right. I'd like to have this motion made by someone, please, that the council move into a closed session to discuss a proposed land purchase from the town and to receive a multiplex steering committee update in accordance with section 16 and 24 of the Freedom of Information Protection and Privacy Act. Thank you, Councillor Sorensen. All in favor? Passed. Okay, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn, and Jean isn't here, so please. Thank you, Councillor Curry. All in favor? Okay, we are adjourned.
Oh, yeah,